In today's episode, I plan on taking the Flying Inflatable Boat out to a fun little boating hangout spot, see what other boats are out there on the weekend, and if I can make any new friends, as well as it's always interesting to see people's faces when a flying boat comes over the trees and lands at the beach. But come along for the ride and stay tuned to the end to see how this turned into more of an adventure than I planned for. Flying over to Crystal Bay, I checked my phone to see if my friend with the crazy big homemade houseboat thingy parked there was at his boat at the time, and unfortunately he wasn't. Since I didn't have anybody specific to visit at Crystal Bay, I figured I would just do a touch and go, potentially land, depending on how the wind felt. You may not be able to tell from the video, but there was a pretty consistent strong wind that day, and it was a little bit on the gusty side because I was flying in the mid-afternoon. Shout out to my new friend Rick who sent me this video from his cell phone of me doing a touch and go at Crystal Bay. I'm coming in for a landing right here. It's a little bit turbulent air because there's actually a wind shadow coming off the trees that you see to my right, as I'm just downwind from that. And a lot of the wind comes down the river channel, but some does spill over the trees and give a little bit of rotor. So I really took my time with this landing and then taxiing over to the edge of the river. This design of flying inflatable boat isn't exactly known for its crosswind stability. In other words, what that means to the people who aren't pilots out there, it doesn't like to be on the water with wind hitting it from the side. The big wind and the top heaviness of the motor being up high on a V-shaped hull has a good chance of the wind actually rolling it completely over.
Hi.
That's sick.
Thank you. I don't suppose any of you have like a paddleboard pump, do you?
Paddleboard?
Yeah.
Are you stranded?
What?
Stranded?
Shredded.
No, we don't have a paddleboard on.
No, I don't need a paddle. I just need an air pump.
Oh, an air pump. No.
Slowly. It's fine.
What was wrong?
Oh, nothing's wrong. I just wanted to put more air in, and I thought maybe if you paddleboarded here.
No.
But I just thought I'd say hi. You guys were
Yeah,
waving.
it's pretty cool.
How do you take off?
Same way I landed, but opposite. If you could give me a bit of a push back. Thank you.
You want to go back out that way?
That's the
Turn
plan.
you around?
I'm gonna just take
That
a second
GoPro?
to fix and fuss with this.
That's sick. I saw you. Remember seeing you in the LaSalle.
Oh, cool. And
When it was getting
If you
cold.
grab the camera and pull it out just a little bit, away from me. There you go.
Good.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
How are you not just like so scared up there?
Yeah, that's high up.
I'd
Wow.
shit myself.
It's kind of windy today, so it's like on the nervouser side of things today specifically, but I don't know, it's
You're not
pretty fun.
strapped in or anything? Oh yeah, you are. I see.
Yeah.
Halfway.
I thought this one was like a
Seatbelts
two-seater.
behind me.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I thought it was a two-seater.
It is.
It is? Oh.
Someone sits.
Oh.
This kind of folds down. I have it in like the up mode.
Nice.
It's pretty fun. Anyway, just thought I'd stop.
How
and
often
say
you
hi.
come out?
What?
How often do you come out? Like or fly out, I
Kind
guess.
of whenever I feel like it.
Yeah.
Oh man, my eyes are watering.
Need goggles.
Yeah, probably should.
Do
I'll
you
get 'em
talk to
at
people
some
on that
point.
mic or?
What?
Do you talk to people on the headset or?
I can, yeah.
Do you though?
Well, there's nobody with me to talk to right now, and
Oh,
I can radio other airplanes, but
it's kind of boring.
like, why? There's nobody out here,
Yeah.
and I'm slower than everybody, so
Yeah.
nobody wants to fly with you when you're real slow. Well, sir, if you could give me a push that way.
You be taking off?
Yeah. I'm gonna take off just around the corner. I gotta take off in this direction, so yeah, just give it a push that way.
Yeah. I got you.
Thank you so much. Just gentle. It's gonna move slow.
Get your knee butter.
I gotta be out far enough that I don't hit that tree on my way. Yeah, a little more. A little more. You can do it. There you go. All right, guys. Clear prop. Good to meet you.
You can see now I took a few attempts to land. I wanted to land as close as I could to the actual beach. That way I wouldn't have to fight with a crosswind as I taxied over to the beach, which I feel like I looked a little bit drunk or something to the people nearby because I was getting blown all over sideways and turned around by the crosswind. And finally I just committed and taxied all the way up to the beach. But that's why I took a few attempts at it, just so I didn't have to taxi so far.
Good, buddy.
Oh, yeah, man. That's
It's
hard,
like
eh?
driving drunk. It's not my perfect. Goes right in.
Keep it on.
Appreciate your input.
Good are you?
We can go a little bit more.
Your last name Kid? No, you're not Kid.
No, you're thinking of Dave. I'm Dave's instructor.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. And I swear
Where do
I'm
you-
not drunk, it's just windy.
I know.
Where do you upload this stuff?
Imagine.
YouTube.
What's your username?
Okay, so you guys clear the motor? Yeah. Everybody clear? Clear front. Here we go.
I'm not going to time warp or accelerate this takeoff at all because you can see how my hull right now is super full of water. There's a little water gate on the transom of the Flying Inflatable Boat that prevents water from coming in, but if you kind of allow water in, it can act as a ballast. The rubber seal on mine I only fixed after this flight, but I'm unable to keep water out, which is why I got to make sure I'm stopping at a beach. And it makes for a really extended takeoff roll as all the water drains. Another shout out to my friend Rick. Thanks you so much for being quick to grab your cell phone and get video of me as I fly back through Crystal Bay on my way home. You'll see that video here in the top left-hand screen. He did a very good job for shooting with just a cell phone and no notice. Anyway, if you made it this far through the video, stick around a little bit longer because on my way home, I had a little fuel delivery engine stoppage problem. Somebody must have been looking over my shoulder that day because it couldn't have happened at a better time and place, and you'll see more about that in a little bit. But first, a little bit about my FIB. I outfitted it with a secondary tank of fuel, so 2 40-liter tanks and a fuel selector valve. So typically, if I were to run out of gas or have bad gas or water in one tank, I can switch the fuel selector valve to the other. And if you were listening carefully, you would have just heard the engine kind of bogging down a little bit. And now you see me going for the fuel selector valve to switch tanks. I switched tanks successfully, expecting the engine to keep going. And it does for a little while, and I guess that's a bit of a spoiler alert. But the title of this video also is something about an unplanned landing, so that's already a spoiler alert. We weren't sticking around for my engine out. Thanks for watching. And surprise! It's about this point in time I realized my engine's definitely going to die on me and I have just enough altitude to make a steep turn so I can point into the wind for landing. This is important so that you have a slower ground speed on touchdown.
that stopped spinning. Don't we need that?
I just turned it off for a second so you could hear how nice and
Hey,
quiet
Cedar
it
guy!
sounds at 6,000 and 5,000, 4,000. Now I think I'll turn it right back on now. Okay, now you can hear the fancy code that pilots use when they talk to the tower. Mayday, mayday.
Doesn't Mayday mean there's something wrong?
Oh no, if something's wrong, I would say, foam the runway, foam the runway. Charlie 408 experiencing engine failure.
We don't have an engine?
Sure we do. We got an engine, right?
Here I try my engine a couple more times, and I also tried again once the Sea-Doo guys show up. I definitely could have been a little bit more thorough trying to get the engine running again out here, but I thought on a windy day, when I'm right near a boat launch, and I already have a couple of guys with a jet ski who are able to help me, the better aeronautical decision making for me was to just
My
get it home.
engine died. I was wondering, maybe, do you have a rope can pull me closer to shore?
Yeah, I got a rope.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it on my own just to see, but I have a feeling I might need a tow. I figured I'd get your attention while I still had it.
Yeah.
But, so just bear with me. I'm gonna see if I can get it kind of started, but
What kind of license would you need for that?
pilot's license.
Oh,
I gotta see if I can.
So keep in mind, not only is it not starting right back up, so I think it could be a more complicated problem than just not having fuel, but also that little rubber seal in the water gate in the back is letting water in, so the boat's actually flooding pretty quickly while I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, let's do a rope. Do you have a rope handy?
Yeah, I got a rope.
Thank you. That's easier for you to grab yours than me to grab mine. And I've got the ignition off so the prop won't start. I really appreciate your help, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. You'll have a good story to go home to. I'm just glad I'm close to shore and close to other people. So I've got like no steering, the wind's gonna blow me around, so if you can come in kind of here, however works for you. Thank you. And the trick is you're gonna have to pull me real slow, and I'm just gonna hold the rope, because I need to be able to let go if I start getting rolled over by the wind, because I can tip right over and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You want me to just bring you by the burrito over there?
Yeah, that would be perfect. Again, just real slow, like idle speed kind of the whole way. And if we can almost go a little bit downstream of the, because I need to kind of keep the wings somewhat pointed into the wind, so like almost straight from where you're going. Thank you so much.
How much does it cost you?
About 20 grand. Not much more than your jet ski.
Nice. That,
It's super cool and the engine keeps running.
are you a pilot?
Yeah, can you stop for a sec?
Yep.
I'm just gonna get a better grip on the rope here. All right, let's try that again. Good. Perfect. Glad I didn't bring a date out or something. This would have been embarrassing. So I don't know if it's like bad gas or what, but kind of the perfect time to fall out of the sky. I had just enough altitude to turn around into the wind, and real fortunate to have you guys here, so thank you again.
You pilot?
Yeah.
That's Bill, currently, you still fly? Yeah. Out of Windsor? Fly out of Windsor.
I fly out of this.
Is that all you have your license for?
No. Oh, that was a big fish. Yeah. No, I have this and I have 2 other aircraft. Thank you, sir. And then if you pull your rope the other way. Nope. Like, give me that end. Now pull yours. Keep pulling, 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 pulling. Oh, of course I get stuck with it. Not me. Thank you so much. I hope their emergency docking keys aren't expensive. Alright. How do we do this? Alright, gentlemen.
Perfect.
Yeah, that was an adventure, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
I love this story. You all good?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
You too. I crashed, so I gotta come in, but I gotta get a ride to my truck somehow. Here comes my buddy to rescue me. Fantastic. Man, Dude Man's good at this backing up stuff.
It's called backup camera.
Well, you don't see nothing with that big box there. So it's running again. That's good. And then, yeah, I turn it off by starving it of fuel. And the reason we turn it off is because when you have an upside down engine, the spark plugs are at the bottom. So if you have fuel oil mixture, it fouls the plugs real easy if you leave the bowls full. So if you just dry out the bowls by using your fuel shut-off switch, then you don't have any problem with fouled plugs and fly again. So anyway, happy to see it's running again. It was just a loose hose on tank 2, and tank 1's out of gas. So not a big deal as to why we went down. All worked out really well in the end. Huge thanks to the guys who towed me in. I didn't get their names, I should have. And the guys who came and brought my truck to me. Again, thank you, Rick and friend. Huge thanks for that. And overall, it was a good day. Not clickbait. Didn't do this on purpose, I promise. Like I said, I would do anything for clicks, but I won't do that. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Like and subscribe and things and stuff. And stay tuned for whatever our next adventure is. Hopefully it's not another engine out or unscheduled landing. What did the dog find? Stuff? Was there stuff? You had so much fun? Okay. Bean, stop eating grass. That's grass? You don't eat grass. What kind of dog eats grass? No, just stop. I will get you a salad, like a whole Caesar salad. Thank you. Yeah, find a stick. Can you find a stick? Where's the sticks? Yeah. Yeah. Good girl. Beans good?